Okay, so today I'm going to compare Teachable versus Podia. These are two platforms that I've used over the years for courses, and I actually have two different sets of courses that are live on these platforms right now. But I'm going to start with the pricing comparison because it's probably where most people are going to start. And I'm just going to go over Podia first, and then I'll dive into the dashboards for both platforms. But for Podia, you can see they have a two-tier pricing system: Mover and Shaker. Mover is $39 a month with a 5% transaction fee, and then Shaker just gets rid of that transaction fee and then has affiliate marketing capabilities. And then over here, they're trying to move into email marketing. So if you have less than 100 subscribers, it's free. But then as soon as you start going over subscribers, over 100 subscribers, it really starts functioning as an email marketing software. And so this is like a big shift I've seen with Podia in the last year or two. They've really tried to go from being a really user friendly, affordable creator platform just for courses to being like a creator platform with everything you might need, including a website, an online store, email marketing capabilities, a blog, things like that. And they've also knocked off the entry level tiers. So they used to have a completely free tier with just transaction fees, and then a kind of a secondary affordable tier after that. But now they just have these two pricing plans. And I'm going to contrast that with Teachable because Teachable, on the one hand, has more expensive tiers, but then on the lower levels, they have this free plan and this basic plan. But the free plan in particular is, again, like it says, it's free. All they charge is a transaction fee, which is a really nice way to validate whether or not your course has legs. Because basically, you are putting it up, you're not outlaying any cost on a monthly basis, and only when you're making sales are you getting charged. So even though it's a higher transaction fee, you basically it just becomes a math equation. Once you start selling a certain number of courses, then it makes sense to upgrade. But to start with, there's not all this pressure for you to, make sales like with Podia. You might get stuck, on that entry level tier, $39 a month, but you're not making sales, and so it's just a little bit more challenging, and it's not super beginner friendly. Um, and then the other thing I wanted to kind of run through is how it actually works in the back end. You can see that like Podia is fairly easy to use, but one of the things I've noticed is that there's not a ton of options right out of the gate, and it's not super intuitive to kind of figure out what you need to do. Like there's 5 different ways you can add lessons, text, embeds, quizzes, coaching, and files. It's just not super intuitive when you're kind of going through. Like you can certainly create the content here, but there's not a whole lot of additional options, and you can only kind of do this like two-layer or two levels of kind of building versus what I like about Podia, let me get over here, is you can see like you set up your curriculum, and then as you go through, you can really drill down and add different sections, as many as you want. And then, as you're adding the sections, like you see here in Module 1, okay, I've created an overview, and then within the overview, you can add sections. So it becomes this like almost like this 3-layer deep system where you can create really feature-rich courses. And as you can see, like when you're adding content, there's just a lot of like intuitive options that make sense here, including the video, the embeds, and things like that. You can also add quizzes or just open-ended questions that require answers, or file uploads. You can add custom codes. You can even add Zoom integrations. You can make comments public, or allow student comments. There's a lot more kind of built into Teachable as compared to Podia. Again, I'm not like saying that Podia is a bad platform to get started with. I just think that now with the pricing changes, I'm less inclined to like go to Podia as my default choice because again, their pricing plan is not as attractive as it used to be. And for recommendations for beginners getting started with their course building journey, like free is your friend. Most companies will try to lock you into some sort of paid pricing plan. And in fact, Teachable's kind of like narrowed their focus, whereas Podia's tried to like expand their focus to online stores, digital downloads, webinars, coaching, which I think all fits under the creator mantle, but it's trying to pack a bunch of value and be a jack of all trades. And I'm just not a huge fan of platforms when they do that. It's a little bit like Kajabi or ClickFunnels or something like that. Like I get the value proposition. I'm just not super excited about that for a very specific activity like course building. So for for the time being, I'm going to recommend Teachable as the go-to platform. I do think if you are planning on having an online store or like multi-channel sales, including digital downloads and things like that, like Podia can make sense, and it's going to be a very competent platform. I'm just leaning towards Teachable specifically if you're in the business of building courses or if that's your specific objective for this year. All right, thanks so much. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or want to share your experience.